Hello, this is Nicole with Angelic Therapy and Healing. Hopefully everyone is doing very well. Apologies for the delay. I did not have a chance to record this for everyone yesterday. I started to prepare. I got the table ready, got everything ready. And then I had another birthday celebration that I didn't get home until late. So we are doing it today. So good thing is, however, there isn't a specific time frame for this message, which is good, because if you are someone, say it just pops up in your feed or randomly starts playing for you one day, the timing of this should be approximately 1 up to 2, for some of you possibly 3 weeks after you listen to it, that these messages would be applicable. So for those of you that are listening now, these messages will be applicable now through the end of November. If this pops up in your feed in March 2019, and say you get it the second week of March, then that means these messages should be playing out for you by the end of March. So hopefully that will help you. Now, before we get too far along, I know I've gotten a couple comments from some folks, and I know you guys are loyal subscribers. Thank you, love you, glad that you are loyal subscribers. And I know that there has been the question as to why, when we do just general readings, general messages like last week that we did, does the similar theme keep popping up? Well, that is for a number of reasons, but to just give you some quick reasons to help you maybe understand a little bit as to why that is. So this channel, there are thousands of true twin flames that are guided to come to this channel. One of the things that I'm here to do is to help twin flames navigate through that so that they can come into union. So there is a timeline. There has been a timeline for twin flames to come into union. I think I have mentioned it a couple times in the readings that the timeline for twins to be in union is by the end of 2019. So, spoiler alert, even though the angels have been guiding many of you, particularly divine feminine, to let them go and press on with life, they do still want you to do that, because that's important for this coming together. You're meant to come together. You're destined to come together. It's because of your mission and what you are here to do. Now, even those that are not twin flames that are here on this channel, there's a lot of light workers. There's a lot of people who are here to help humanity at this time as we are about to embark on this big shift that we're going through. And thousands of you that are guided here, there's a number of things that you have to let go in your life in order to move into this next chapter where you're going to be doing your missions of service to help others. Now, if you look back, particularly this 11-11-11 gateway that we just had, it's actually, for many of you, there has been a situation or a person, maybe a relationship. There has been something that you have been in the process. If you look back, you've been trying to release since 2011. It's a 7-year cycle that's coming to a close right now. So for some of you, it could be a career change. Maybe you've been trying to get out of your career and start your own business, or look at me. I was in Afghanistan 7 years. Here I am finally coming through with my retirement, my medical retirement. And for those of you that have been so patient, good news, I do have my retirement orders. However, it's not quite done. We haven't quite come to where, when you're medically retired, things are all hinging off of ratings, and that's what determines your medical care and all that stuff. But we are not quite at the ratings and things, but there's a lot of amazing, helpful people at this point. So hopefully in these last final days, God is going to come through with a blessing. They're going to be able to help get all this stuff taken care of, and I should be able, hopefully by December, be able to share some news with all of you. But all of us, that's my thing I've been closing. But if you look at your life and you look back to 2011, many of you are going to notice that there was a phase, a cycle, something that you've been trying to release, but it wasn't something small. It could be a karmic partner. Again, for some it could be a career, but it's not something that's simple. It's not an easy, oh, poof, it's done, it's gone, whew, off to the next chapter. No, it's something huge, and it's been an instrumental piece in your growth. Be it a career change, be it somebody, maybe it was a karmic partner and you were supposed to learn some things from that person. And it's just taken this time because in addition to releasing that cycle, You've gone through spiritual growth. You've gone through spiritual awakening. There were things that had to happen first before other things to take place. So some of you say you're going to start your own business. You've had to, over the past, because for most of you, it has been this 7-year cycle. If you look back, it started 2011, 2012. Many of you actually met your twin flame in 2011 or 2012. But then you began this amazing journey. And it's had a lot of bumps. It's been a bumpy ride. But you're about to graduate. You're about to close that chapter. And I know you've gotten to hear the angels week after week, month after month saying, oh, you're getting there, you're getting there. But you are. You are. And if you look at all the miraculous things that you've done the past 6, 7 years, you should be proud of yourself. You should pat yourself on the back because you've done a really good job. You really have. You have grown, you've evolved, you've ascended. Many of you, you've had to take classes. You've had to first start out getting yourself healed, going to get your own healing work. So for some of you, say your twin flame. You met your twin flame in 2012. You met this person, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know, but there's fireworks. Oh, I'm drawn to them. And twin flames are supposed to activate that in each other, and then boom, you go off to your separate little corners and you begin doing your growth and your healing, because until you have come into union with yourself, until you have healed yourself and you love yourself, and they are at the same vibration of you, they've also done all the healing work, you can't come back into union. But you'll come and you'll ping back off of each other every so often to reinvigorate that growth, that healing work. So you meet them, sparks fly, you start doing your healing work, you're trying to figure out what this is about. Suddenly you're delving into self-healing, really working hard on yourself. Then you're doing spiritual classes. You're really learning what all this is about. And now you've come to this point where you're providing advice for others and you're assisting others. And you're at this peak moment where you're like, okay, I know that's my new path. I'm ready for it. But I need to get rid of this partner I've been with forever. It could be a romantic partner. It could be a partner that maybe you've been in business with them, but they're still a romantic partner. It could be a career. But this chapter that during this whole process, you've known, end game is to close that chapter because you have a new chapter waiting you. But this new chapter, it's big, it's huge. It's your divine path. It's what you've been preparing for the past 6, 7 years. But guess what? It's about to happen. There is this 11-11-11 portal way that we were just in yesterday. That's actually closing that 7-year cycle. Many of you, it would be beneficial this week to sit down and do a meditation where you're visualizing yourself letting all those things go of that past chapter to close that door. Letting it go, forgiving anything that needs to be forgiven, thanking the people for the experiences that you've had. Because forgiveness is essential. For many of you, it's been a very difficult, give me 1 second while I get a drink of water. It's been a very difficult thing for you to release. But to look at that, you can picture yourself going across like a finish line for a race. You can also, actually let me make sure this is recording. Good. You can do a couple different things. You can visualize that, you're on one side of a door and this door is glittering and it's sparkly and it's just magical. And before you can open that door, you have to forgive everyone, all the experiences, you have to release them. You have to also thank them. So for me, it could be everyone that's been involved with my medical retirement process, to the things that have been helpful, to the things that have not been helpful, but to thank all of them, because they've helped build me and get me to where I am. So I'm prepared to go through that door. So you can visualize yourself at a door. You can visualize yourself like you're about to cross the finish line of a race. You can visualize yourself that maybe you're between 2 pillars. It could be 2 pillars of light, 2 pillars of crystal, but you're on one side of the pillars, and when you pop through the other side, you're in that other chapter. But go ahead and do a meditation so that you can close this chapter. You can say goodbye. You can forgive. You can thank. And you can release that and then visualize yourself going through that door, going to the other side of the door. Visualize yourself crossing the finish line. Visualize yourself walking through those pillars to the other side. And then just see what divine messages that you get. Many of you, you're going to find that your angels, your team is going to congratulate you because you have done a damn good job. It has not been easy. And that's why these messages that seem like the core message is, oh, it's coming. Yeah, the core message, it's coming. It's been coming for 7 years for most of you, 6, 7 years. But it's because it's huge. I mean, this is huge. Do you realize how important you are? Do you realize the stuff that you're closing and saying finally goodbye to so that you can step into this remarkable divine mission of yours? You're going to help so many people. So it hasn't come easy. And when we've had these readings, yes, the angels will say, oh, it's coming, because you know the end game. You know what's going to happen. You're going to start your new business. You're going to make your career change. You're going to finally be free of this person that's been clawing at your ankle the whole time, not letting you go, so that you can move into the divine relationship and the mission with that person that you know you're destined for, whatever it may be. It's different for all of you. But you know what your end game is. But week after week, month after month, the angels will say, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. But this week, focus on this. This week, make this phone call. This week, go on ahead and write this person. So take, for example, my retirement. I am in the trenches with all of you. I myself, I met my twin flame in 2012. We actually began talking in 2011. I have been trying to close a chapter since 2011, like most of you. And although I know the end game is retirement, I know the end game is being able to assist all of you and provide messages and focus on that, it's been a long time coming. But in the meantime, the angels, as encouragement, say, it's okay, Nicole, keep going. It's coming. But you know what you need to do today? Today you need to write these people and ask for them to please help you. It's still coming, Nicole, but you know what you need to do today? Today you need to make a couple phone calls. Go on ahead and call these people. Or, you know, Nicole, it's still coming, but you know what you need to do today? You just need to go outside and pray and meditate and calm down. Whatever that nugget is that we need to, hold on one second. I got Yorkie that wants to get up here and join us. Hi, Lexi. Sit down, darling. So whatever your next step is, if you look back at the readings, and hopefully you will find that in all the readings, although the core message is it's coming, because for all of you, it is coming, and it's coming now. They want to encourage you. This whole time they wanted to encourage you, because if they would have said 6, 7 years ago, or even for some of you 5 years ago, hey, you'll get there 5, 7 years from now, just hang on in, enjoy the ride, we'll see you on the other end, you wouldn't have had that encouragement that you needed. I, like all of you, need the encouragement that, hey, it's still going to happen. It's coming. But right now, just do this. Because if you look at it kind of like a puzzle, you know, when you finished a puzzle's beautiful. But when you're putting it together, it doesn't make sense. You find random pieces. You don't know where they go. You try to put it in a spot and you're like, oh, that's not fitting in there. And then you try another spot and you're like, oh, that doesn't work either. And eventually you find, oh, that's the perfect fit. And then after you go through that for days and hours, and you finally get this masterpiece. But one piece of the puzzle can't fall into place necessarily until a different piece of the puzzle falls in. So there's divine timing that has been at play. There have been certain things that have had to happen before other things happen. So during this process we've been going through, the angels have been letting us know you're on the right path. It is going to happen. Trust your divine knowing. Trust, because for many of you, you have begun to question this path where you're going. Many of you have also questioned union with your twin. Now, again, this is not to get you all hyped and focused on that, because those of you that are about to come into union, that is not your focus. And that should not be your focus. You've got your focus right where it should be. But you're about to come into union with your twin. There's actually going to be a massive wave in November and December of twins coming into physical union. And then there's going to be another massive wave in March and April of 2019. There's going to be a couple other big waves of union in 2019. Those are the closest upcoming waves. And again, everybody by 2019. Now there's only a few, and I can say like single digits that won't, but there's a reason. It's a really big purpose. So you're about to come in union. You're about to have this chapter close. Pat yourself on the back. Your divine team has been helping you, and I do hope that these messages have helped, that each week, although it is the same core story of, hey, it's coming, it is. Hopefully they have provided you the messages that you've needed to get there, because it's, you know, do this today, do this tomorrow, next week do this, because you have to put all the puzzle pieces in first to get to the end, and you are at the end. Many of you will find by Thanksgiving that this chapter you've been trying to close is done. So Congratulations. So in the meantime, hopefully the messages will still be coming through. Those of you that say your final chapter is not going to close until March, or say it's not going to close until June or July, I do hope that as we continue to go through this process together, that because when the angels come through in these general messages, do keep in mind, these are general messages for a large number of people. So the angels, when I pray and prepare, I ask that everyone who's listening to this gets at least one message, if possible. And I'm just a clear channel to give their messages to you. Those of you who've been listening for a while, you know that I hear very clearly the two that come through all the time for me are Archangel Michael and Jesus. And then there are a few other archangels that come through frequently. I am just their channel. So what happens is, say there's 5,000 of you that listen to this video. If 4,500 of you are twin flames, well, guess what? We're all going through the same stuff. So they are going to give the messages that are going to help the largest number of people. Now you will find as we move into mid-2019, the messages will begin to shift because that's going to be a turning point where most of us will be in union at that point. And you'll notice a difference in the messages. But till then, we're going to continue to have these core messages of, hey, it's coming. Many of you are going to start to have that happening this month. But we don't hit that midpoint until mid-next year. So in the meantime, as they do come through, just keep in mind this is for a large number of people that are going through similar stuff. So until at least half of us have crossed that finish line, they're going to be giving the encouragement and the messages to those who have to cross that finish line on what their next steps are. Because we all want to get there, and we all need to get there, and they're helping us all get there. And for those of you that may not cross the finish line by June or July, they're probably going to still continue to come through with messages for you. They'll be forgetting about the rest of us. They'll be like, whatever, y'all are there, do your thing. We need to get everybody else there because that's their focus. So hopefully that does help explain it a little bit. And for those of you that are here just for the messages, well, guess what? And when I say messages, the messages we've already had are from them, but the messages that we have for the cards, we're going to go ahead and get started with those. So you can tell we're doing something a little different today. So what we have today is we have group, instead of doing Post-its, we have Yorkie squeaky toys today. So like pick one, whichever one resonates with you. So maybe this Peep is calling out your name, or maybe it's this little circus monkey or this little magical pig. So whichever one you feel or your team is guiding you to, that is your message. And you can listen to all of them and see which one resonates because you'll know, your soul will know. Like when you start to listen to it, a number of you will ask me, how do we know what's for us? Well, we don't always have time to jump in our car and drive around in circles waiting for the angels to show us a yes bumper sticker or no bumper sticker. So if you just call on your team, call on God, call on the angels, I always call on Jesus, call them in to say, help me understand and know which of these messages for me. Just have it leap out at my soul that I just know without a doubt. And they'll do that. You'll find that when you're listening, you'll be like, oh, that doesn't have anything to do with me. Go to the next one. Oh my gosh, that's it. That's on point. So you'll just know. So just ask that they give you the discernment and they help you know. The question that we're going to be asking and getting the answers for you this week is, what do they want to tell you? Whoever this person is, what do they want to tell you? Because there are some unsaid things at this time that you should know. It's going to help you a little bit with your journey. So I'm going to go ahead and start moving these up. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. You guys can see that? Good. Welcome. Glad to have you here. For those of you that are loyal subscribers, you are awesome. Always glad to have you here. And again, hopefully all of you, I think you guys can see that. I have 2 Yorkies now sleeping in my lap, so we're going to roll with it and hope that you see them. So thank you all for subscribing. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for sharing the videos. Thank you for liking. For those of you that have made donations recently, thank you so much. I can't tell you how much your support means to me. So thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now, let's go ahead and get started. So if you picked the magical Peep, let's find out what your messages are. Actually, I'm not going to throw those because we might have Yorkie dive after him. Okay, so what do they want to tell you. So I am going to, give me 1 second. I'll try to pop up a little bit to make sure you can see this. I think I've got it zoomed in enough that you should also be able to see the detail. I've made it so that the cards are close enough to the camera so that you can see that. And let me just look here real quick. Sorry, Group A, you get to be my guinea pig to make sure it's lined up well. Okay, good. We are ready to go. Okay. So what we have is this top card. So what I did is, oh, for those of you also that care about the cards, because I'm not going to type them down below. If you want to know what the cards are, we have the Findicicle Kippers, the Wheel of the Year Tarot, the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed, and then Doreen Virtue's Love and Light deck. And I'm going to probably soft to type it because people that don't feel message 1, the squeaky, beautiful Peep, they're not going to hear that. So I will type them below. So what you have here is you have who. Who has this message for you? And then you have, well, what do they want to tell you? So you have this main male. And the cards that you have across the bottom, you have this use loving strength and discernment, orphaned. You have the King of Chalices and the Princess of Swords. Now, use loving discernment, use loving strength and discernment. At the bottom, it says, I'm not trying to win the approval of people, but of God. If pleasing people were my goal, I would not be Christ's servant. Galatians 1:10. This card's about, creating boundaries, creating healthy boundaries, not allowing people to walk all over us, not allowing people to control us. This is about unhappiness, conflict when people are, trying to force us to do something that we don't want to do. It's interesting, Hay House is having a sale. I actually did some online shopping this morning for myself and for some Christmas gifts. They always have an amazing holiday sale, and you can get stuff for like $5. So for those of you, if you've not checked it out, I think it's sales running for maybe 2 or 3 more days. But they do sell it quick. But anyhow, I was on there, and there's this book. It's an audio book, and I forget the title. I think it's like The Power of Saying No. Sometimes we have to tell people no. Sometimes what we desire, and a lot of times you really should do it off of what you desire. If you don't want to do that, don't allow someone to manipulate you into thinking that that's what you have to do. Next card is Orphaned, and this is card number 5. And this is, it's talking about a sense of loss. Moving on from something or a group of people because we no longer belong. We don't belong in that relationship. We don't belong with that group of friends. Maybe we don't belong in that environment. Maybe, we used to party and maybe no longer into that. Or say we really enjoyed drinking. Maybe we had a touch of alcoholism, but that doesn't work for us anymore. But moving away from that. But this card is often tied into, people, belonging with people. So maybe you had a group of friends that you enjoyed drinking with, and now you're no longer into the drinking. You've tried to stop drinking, so you feel ostracized. Or a relationship, and you're like, I don't want to be in a relationship, so now you're off and on your own. Then we have this King of Chalices, which is the King of Cups. And this is, he is the Lord of Hearts. He's wise, he's honest, he's frank. He is very comfortable and secure in his feelings and in his emotions. He doesn't have any fear of sharing his emotions. He doesn't have any fear of opening up. And then we have this Princess of Swords. And the meaning of this card is it's the young lookout, because you can see here she's looking out along the horizon. But this is about vigilance, curiosity, observation, also being flexible. It's about love. He's able to offer his cup now because he's not in a relationship. Okay. Hold on a second. Yep. All right. So I asked them to give me a clarifying card of what this is about. And we've got the marriage card. So The message he wants to tell you, what he wants to tell you, is that he was in this horrible marriage. This marriage, this relationship, it didn't have to be a marriage. It could have been a long-term commitment with someone. Maybe he'd been dating someone forever. Or maybe he was romantically involved with someone and he was stuck in a business or something with them. But he was stuck. He was trapped. This person made him feel guilty. This person made him feel trapped, made him feel as though he could not escape the situation, he could not get out of the situation. This person made him feel very guilt-ridden. This person also made him feel guilty and bad about himself, because if you look in this orphan card, this poor little figure has their head turned down. They're just looking totally rejected. The clouds are all gray and gloomy. And, you know, they're sitting on this nest. And nests are about new beginning, new life. And although he's no longer in this relationship and he can begin a new life, create a new life, a new beginning, a new home with someone else, he is not really excited and feeling the energy because he's still feeling out in the cold and rejected by this person. And for some, this person, it was connected to like a group of people. So maybe he had been with this person for years, and you know, when you are in a relationship for years, you share family and you share friends, and when you go separate ways, they take their sides. And for some, he's not feeling like they took his side. For some, this person that he's not in the relationship with. So for most of you, he wants to tell you he's not in this relationship anymore. It's this toxic, abusive relationship. This person was even for some spreading lies about him to tarnish his reputation, to make him look bad to this group of people. So maybe with the whole splitting of friends and family, maybe this person started doing a whole lot of slander and sharing information about them. Some of the information could have been true. Some of it could have been true, but with a whole lot of spin to it. And some of it was downright false to make him look bad. Now he's feeling all alone and isolated. Now, most of you, he is over. The relationship is over. It's just recently concluded. And for some, although maybe he has not signed the official dissolution paperwork, the divorce paperwork, maybe he has not officially ended it. It is over, and that final conclusion will be happening within the next couple weeks. But it's done. It's over. He's no longer feeling trapped by this person, but he is feeling out in the cold. Like if you look at this card, so this king is representing him. If you look at this Princess of Swords, and if you look here, you see these leaves, they're dead. You also see this ice. So, and you see these cannons. He has really been going to battle with this person. So for many of this person, there was even like some financials, but there was this big dispute with this person. But it's been a very difficult battle for him. His trust has been betrayed. He feels now that it's over because there's been so many things intertwined with this person. He feels as though everything is falling apart. Everything's falling away. He feels like he's losing everything. And although he has felt out in the cold, if you look, the snow and the ice is melting there. It's also melting here. So the storm is passing. It is over. He's just really not sure what to do from this point forward. But he wants to let you know that it's over. He does have some heart healing that he's still working on. Some of you need to know that when he does come your way, there's going to be some serious trust issues because of this person that he was with, because she, really betrayed his trust. Really betrayed his trust. For some of you, because some of you are twin flames, twin souls, you have known this person for a long time. They were actually involved with this other person, did not let you know that. But they are now going to share the truth with you. You see this big sword here? They do want to share the truth with you. They do want to let you know that, hey, I did have this thing with this person. And I apologize for that. I should have been honest. I should have been forthright. But it is over now. It is completely over. And I would like to see what the future would hold with you. Now just know, because they're coming out of this, you know, he's still got his back to the future, but he's looking toward the future. He's got his cup out, but he's not facing the future just yet, but he's looking at it. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about you. He's visualizing what a future would be like with you. He's not ready to dive in just yet. He's going to be a little twitchy. So don't let that worry, especially if you're a twin flame and he pops back in. And don't let his twitchiness concern you, because he has just come out of this. But he's noticed all these roses. He is ready for love. And he is ready to be honest with you with regards to his feelings and his emotions, how he feels about you. He has not been so in the past. He is ready to be honest with you about what has occurred in the past, because he has not given you those details. He is ready to clear the air. If you look, this is all cloudy, this is all dark, but these are clear skies with just a couple clouds, and these are also clear with just a couple clouds. He is ready to clear the air, to share all the details with you. But the most important thing, he wants you to know that he is no longer in that relationship, and he is ready to move forward. Okay, group 2, this lovely little circus monkey. Let's see what they want to tell you. Now you have 2 cards. Okay. Like I told the first group, maybe I'll tell all of you, I don't have to type them up. If you want to know about the cards, we're using the Fin to Sickle Kippers and the Wheel of the Year Tarot, Wisdom of the Oracle, and Love and Light cards. Now you should be able to see these. Lexi is still sleeping on my lap, so I cannot get up and check them for you. But it does appear you can see them, and they should be close enough that you can see the graphics. Now, the card across the top is who? Who wants to tell you something? And then the cards across the bottom is what do they want to tell you? Excuse me while I get a sip of water. I'm fighting a cold, if you can tell that, so trying to stay hydrated and get rid of it. So, this person who wants to share this message with you is a woman. You have the privileged lady, and when I was shuffling, it popped out with this card, Sudden Wealth. So, there is a woman who wants to share information with you, and it is going to change your financial situation drastically. So, for a number of you, this is actually like a settlement that you're going to be receiving. And across the bottom, you have this spend more time outdoors. And at the bottom, it says, they are like trees planted along the riverbank, bearing fruit each season. Their leaves never wither, and they prosper in all they do. Psalms 1:3. Next card is walk away from illusions and toward truth. At the bottom, it says, show me the right path, O Lord. Point out the road for me to follow. Psalms 25:4. And then we have chaos and conflict, card number 33. And then we have that's a typo on their card. It's actually the Princess of Chalices. Okay. So this card, it's really about, taking time to relax. Many of you, this situation, so for a large number of you, it is in fact a lawsuit. But this situation's been very stressful. Your mind's been racing, you've been fretting, you've been worrying. The time has come for you just to calm down and breathe. Many of you are fearful because you've been, fighting and trying to get this thing to be resolved and to be resolved in your favor, and you don't feel as though you have any options left at this juncture. You see how she's come to the point of this cliff? And now she's just looking up. God, can you help me? I need you now. Right now. I've come to the end of the road. I don't know what to do. It's dark. It's dreary. I'm all alone. But if you look, the light is shining down on her. And if you look, this is like a white dove. And white doves are all about divine messages. You're getting divinely guided. You have, in fact, come to the end of the road. There's no more work that you need to do. You've done everything that you can do. Now it is a point to allow things to unfold and come in. Now it is a time for you to just breathe. Take a deep breath. Now this card, walk away from illusions and toward truth. This is about truth because she is going to be bringing you the truth. We're going to come back to that. Of course, you have this chaos and conflict. That's always about, disarray, chaos, chaos happening before there's order or things come together. It can also be about a passing storm. And then we have the Princess of Chalices. And that would be, okay. So the card, if it were romance, and this is not romance, this has to do with money, but if this were romance, this would be the enamored maiden. She's all about romanticism and dreaming, but this card is also about, delicacy, sensitivity, optimism. See, because she's very optimistic. She's got these white doves, she's sitting between these beautiful cherry trees. Everything is blooming and beautiful. It's springtime. There's so much before her. So you've been in this difficult situation. For a large number of you, this is a medical. Okay. So it's been very difficult. It's been very, very difficult for you. You've had to put a lot of work in. So for some of you, clarify this is bad health. Now, for some of you, this could in fact be medically related. Maybe you are in the midst of a lawsuit with your insurance company and they have not been taking care of your health. They have not been taking care of you medically. So you've sued them. And you are about to receive a big settlement check. So for some of you, maybe the company's CEO is a female and she's going to let you know that, hey, here's the truth of the matter. Here's what's really been going on. Because whether it's a medical company because of something that's medically happened to you, or this card also means about things that have come to a standstill, a stop. They've been, it doesn't feel like anything's moving. For some of you, feels like you're in the twilight zone, things are not as they appear, because if you look at this card, this is actually zebra that is painted as a giraffe. So you've been going through this situation, you've been fighting, but nothing is making sense. Nothing is as it seems. You're being given a lot of false information, even as you are coming to the conclusion of this, because this woman, she could in fact be a senior executive. So say something with your company, organization. She could be a senior executive within the organization. She could be a benefactor. She is someone who is coming to help you with this. And she is going to help you bring this to a conclusion. And the assistance that she wants you to know is that you are going to be receiving this massive amount of money, this settlement. This is going to turn things around for you financially. She's also going to be bringing you some truth, some clarity. For some of you, be it this person, this organization that you have been, you can say, at battle with, you've been fighting for yourself. They have not been honest. For some, they have not taken responsibility for, so for some of you, that's a health thing. They have not taken responsibility for what they did and how they caused you harm. So for some, it could be you're getting a settlement. Maybe it is because of a health insurance. I mean, if you look on the news, there's all types of things about health insurance and companies not taking care of people, and then people being reimbursed because they were not taking care of medical malpractice and such. But you've been going through it. It just doesn't make any sense. So she wants you to know that the storm is almost over. This, for many of you, this is a situation that did have to be handled with delicacy, with some sensitivity, because there has been so many moving parts and pieces involved with this. For some of you, there's been a lot of people involved with this. But you notice how the giraffe, the zebra, is looking this direction. The zebra's not looking to the future yet, but you'll notice the wind is blowing into the future. For many of you, she's going to be bringing you messages, this message within the next 2 to 3 weeks. And that is when you will finally flip and be moving into the future. That's going to be the conclusion of this. She's going to be bringing you news. They are saying, some of you, it could be this week. But for most, the next 2 to 3 weeks. So anywhere 1 to 3, most of you 2 to 3 weeks. She's going to be coming. She's going to be clearing things up, clearing the air, letting you know what has happened. She's also going to be, so for some of you, if she is a senior executive, she is going to be taking responsibility for the organization who has not up to this point taken responsibility for their wrongdoings toward you. And she is going to take responsibility for that, and she is going to steer things in a new direction for you. She's actually already steering things in a new direction for you. You just don't know it yet because, again, things are not as they seem. So she is going to let you know that, hey, it's okay. We've taken care of things. Here's what we would like to offer you. So for some of you, maybe you're going to be settling outside of court. They're going to be making a settlement to you, offer to you. And this settlement, and that's why it's paired with sudden wealth, because this is what's going to lead to a new beginning, a new birth for you. If you look, there's these little daffodils down here at the bottom of this card. Down here. And daffodils are all about, rebirth and springtime, things unfolding, things blooming. And look how she's in the dark. She's looking up, God, please help me. She doesn't have anyone around her. She's come to the edge of this cliff. And then she's just looking up in gratitude. She's taken time to smell the flowers. She's got her doves next to her with the messages. You've got them giving you messages right now. You don't think that you do, but you do. But she's just looking up in gratitude. Oh, thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. Things are going to switch very rapidly for you. You're going to go from being to this state and this state, but it's because of this woman. And even though she's not going to be able to give you the message just yet, it could be 1 to 3 weeks. Just stay calm and know that it is going to work out in your favor. Because again, things aren't what they seem. So for some of you, you are getting some information. Maybe your attorneys are calling you with information and it's just not making any sense. It's not adding up with what you're intuitively being told. Like it's the complete opposite. You're like, well, I'm intuitively being told this, but what they're saying is total opposite. I think I'm in the twilight zone. I think I'm losing, but you're not. Just know until you come to that point and she comes forward with the information about, for again, many of you, it's going to be some settlement that you're getting. Until she comes forward with that information, you won't have all the information. You're not going to know that you're dealing with a zebra. So just allow that to unfold. So, all right, on to, let's put her on top. Oops. Okay. And last group with the magical Piggy. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys what the cards are, just like I told everyone else, so I don't have to type them below, because that's just more time uploading your videos. If you're interested in the cards, we are using the Findicicle Kippers, and we are also using the Wheel of the Year Tarot, Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed, and the Love and Light by Doreen Virtue. Okay. Should be zoomed in close enough that you can see the details of the cards. If there's anything in particular that you need to see, I will hold it up for you at that time. Okay, so at the top you have who wants to give you this message, and at the bottom, what is the message that they have for you? Now, unlike the first two groups, you don't have just a singular person, you have community. And then underneath, you have release your cares to God. At the bottom, it says, oh, that I had wings like a dove. Then I would fly away and rest. Psalms 55:6. And then we have regeneration, and then we have the Empress. Now, if you see here, she looks real stressed. So you're stressed. You're kind of like people in group 2. You're just a stress ball. You're really stressed out. You don't know how things are going to turn out. This card reminds us to just take a break, let go, let God, release our cares, release our concerns and worries. Then we have this regeneration. Regeneration, you've got this little tree trying to sprout out of these rocks, this rocky little hill, and it's trying to sprout. It's got a couple new leaves coming, blooming. It does have this divine light shining down on it, but it's just not there yet. This card's all about new opportunities, second chances, like you thought it was over and done, but it's not. Surprise, it's not. And then we have the Empress. be work. Family? No. Hold on. Yeah, work. Okay. Why? Okay. So for those of you who are curious, when I want additional information, I'll just ask why, and I flip the deck open and just see what card pops out. So for some of you, so for those of you that this message is applicable for, this is a work thing. You got occupation. For some of you, you did have this falling apart, this thing at work that fell apart, because for some, you have this false person in your midst at work, someone that is sharing false, incorrect information about you. For some of you, it was a woman, and she was not sharing good things about you, doing slander, sharing false information about you with your peers at work. And for some of you, you are no longer at that place of employment. Because of the things that happen. For some of you, you are still in the place of employment, but like this woman in this card, you just feel all alone. You don't feel like you have support. So this community, this would be your coworkers, your peers. This would also be, for some of you, your leadership. It could be your team, your management team. It could be the executives. But they want you to know okay, so a couple different ways it could play out. So for those of you that are no longer working with this company, your leadership, they would like you to come back. So for some of you, you fear that, okay, well, what if this, what if I'm going to be returning to the same situation? And what if things aren't going to be getting better? But they are. They will be, for many of you, they're going to be better than what they were. And for some, there's going to be, when I was flipping the cards, I flipped through two. One was the false person card. The other one was fortune. So for some of you, there's actually, you're going to be receiving some raise. And for some of you, you could have left because of a lack of money, because you weren't getting a raise, but you are going to be receiving that. So for those of you that aren't there, they want you to come back. You're worried it's not going to change. You're worried everything's going to be the same. You're worried everything could possibly be worse, but it's not, because look at this green. Green is all about healing. The situation is going to heal. This is kind of like moss. And what does moss do? Moss starts to grow, and then it grows more, and it grows more, and suddenly it's on everything. This healing energy is starting to come down. You can see it's even starting to bloom down in here. So there's going to be complete healing, a complete metamorphosis, a complete turnaround of the situation. You've got all this divine support, all this divine help. They want you back because they value this Empress card. The reason I didn't tell you what that card means, because we could take that so many ways. It does mean generosity and abundance, but it also means like you are the Empress. The Empress is someone that is very knowledgeable. They're very intelligent. You are very gifted. You are very talented. They value your skills. They value your gifts. They value what you bring to the organization. So if you've left the organization, they want you to know that they would like you to return. Or for those of you that feel like you have been ostracized by your peers and that you are on your own, they want you to know that they would like you to come back into the fold. They want to bring you back into the fold. And on both sides of the house, it is because they value you. They value your knowledge, your breadth of knowledge that you bring, your intelligence, your know-how, your skills. You are very, very valuable to the organization and to your peers. Because they're saying for some of you, you are like a linchpin. You are, you can be the glue that holds things together. You help keep the team together. So maybe you are the lead. Maybe you are the section supervisor. You provide training. You provide mentorship. You provide the assistance that they need. And without you, things just kind of fall apart. Things have kind of just fallen apart. So they want you back. They want you back in the company. They want you back in the fold. And let me go ahead and dig out that one card I saw. told you again when I'm looking at stuff, I just flip a deck open and see if I need more information. This was your false, throwing cards. That was your false person who's lying. Where is the fortune? And this is one of the most positive cards in the deck. Boom. So for many of you, you are going to be getting raised. So for some of you that you're still in the company and you feel ostracized, and maybe it was someone you were both competing for a promotion, and this person was saying false things about you. Okay, so for some of you, that is actually your situation. So this person was slandering. They were talking badly about you. They were doing things behind your back to get a lead on you. But guess what? It's not working. They want you to know that they're going to be making the offer to you. You will be receiving that promotion. You will be receiving that increase, that bonus, that raise. So trust, because for many of you, I'm being told that for many of you, you are just so fearful. You just don't know how this situation could possibly turn around. You're afraid things will blow up in your face. They're not going to. So just trust. Okay, I hope that helps all of you. I wish you a lot of love, joy, and blessings.